Okay, doing the channel history tag today. Thank you to Dane Reeds for tagging me in this. I will leave a link to his video down below. But this is a list of 8 questions about the history of your YouTube channel, and I'll just go through these by the numbers. So number 1, tell us about your very first video and where you were in life when you filmed it. I guess this depends a little bit by how I classify my first video, because I actually did some videos way back when, I think maybe even 2006 or 2007, kind of near the beginning of YouTube. I was on a different channel then, and that was not intentional really. That was back in the days before Google had bought everything. So I had, the YouTube account was separate from my Blogger account. I didn't have a Gmail account back in those days. And then later, once Google started buying everything, there was, I had this YouTube account which was unconnected to my Blogger account. And I think I had the option of merging them into one account, maybe, I don't remember, but I chose to keep them separate. So on that old YouTube account, I mainly did videos of my travels in Japan, and they're not particularly interesting. I just turn on the camera and do a sweep of some landscape or something like that. But that's what most of them were. I was using the video camera and the YouTube channel back in my Japan days to just document the various places I was exploring. This current channel, I started in December 2016 as primarily a book and movie review channel, although I've been dabbling with other things. The primary reason for starting it was, so I had been doing book and movie reviews on my blog for ages, like ever since 2006. Around 2016, I started to get pains in my hands when I was typing too long, which I think is just part of growing old. 41 this year. I think that's about the time when these things start to kind of kick in. Or in retrospect, I'm beginning to realize that. As with everything when you grow old, I didn't realize it until it hit me. I thought, I'll be typing forever and I'll never have any problems. Yeah, and then it hit me. Actually, that being said, it's not so bad right now. I think what I did is I laid off the computer for a few weeks, and that seems to have healed it up mostly. Every so often when I'm on the computer too much, it does start to get a little bit sore again, but it's nothing really that's caused me any huge problems or interfered with my work or life in any significant way. I just notice that my hands get a little bit sore now when I spend too long on the computer. So I was thinking about, I've been keeping up this habit of reviewing books and movies for over 10 years now. I really hate to give this up. And then I thought, maybe I'll do video reviews of them. Around the same time, I had stumbled upon some booktubers. Up until that time, I had thought that, if you go on YouTube, it's something that you have to be rather slick and polished about and be a good actor and all this kind of stuff. I'd been watching the more professional end of YouTube, the high-end stuff, and just was rather oblivious to the fact that there are all these amateurs on YouTube who do pretty much what I'm doing now, which is just turn on the camera and ramble. Some of them are better than me, but that's essentially what a lot of people are doing. And once I discovered that, then I thought, I'll give that a try. And the initial thing was I was going to still do the written review, and then I was just going to do the video review as a supplement, and that's what I've been continuing to do. Who knows, and if another 10 years my hands get really cramped, then I might switch to doing only video reviews. But for the moment, I try and do a video review and a written review of everything. Reason I haven't gone over entirely to video reviews is because these video reviews aren't great. I tend to ramble a lot. But I have noticed, this is interesting, I have noticed the video reviews get a lot more views than anything written on the blog. And I think that just has to do with there being more eyeballs on YouTube. More people are spending time on YouTube than they are spending time reading blogs. So anyway, sorry, that was a long and rambling answer to the first one. The second one, tell us about your most viewed video and what went into creating it. So my creative process is rather uninteresting. I just turn on the video camera and ramble. But my most viewed video is currently my review of English Phonetics and Phonology, a practical course by Peter Roach, which I have got to say I did not expect this to be my most viewed video. It's also got currently the most likes. Now, this channel, most of the videos do not get a lot of views, which I'm fine with. I know the video quality is quite low. The production values are quite low. So I figure stuff gets the amount of views it deserves generally, which is like 5 views. Most videos get about 5 views, if that. This one I think is currently at 5,500 or something like that, or 5,200 maybe. But it gets about, you know, 15 views a day, or about, you know, 30 or 40 views every 48 hours. It's funny. It's funny because it's also the most liked video, by the way. That probably has to go along with being the most viewed. I really did not expect that people would be interested in this. The only reason I reviewed it in the first place is because I'm a completist, meaning I've got this project where everything I read, I do a review of. You know, regardless if I have something intelligent to say about it or not, I just try and think of something to say. And I have nothing intelligent to say about this. I mean, it's a textbook, it is what it is. Some of the information is interesting, some of the exercises are a little bit onerous. And that's essentially what I said in my review, although I rambled in the review quite a bit longer. But I think what's going on is I think that this textbook is assigned reading for a number of English classes across the world. And I get the impression that it's assigned reading for one school or a few schools in the Middle East where the students are struggling to comprehend it because English is apparently not their native language. So a number of them are searching for a video review of this book, and it may or may not surprise you to know that there are very few people who do video reviews of this books. So I think that's where they're all coming from. But yeah, it's really odd in general. So many times, well, not so many times, but a handful of times, I've done this video review and I thought, nobody is going to be interested in this. I don't have anything intelligent to say. I'm just doing this for the sake of being complete in my book review project. And then it turns out to be one of the most viewed things on my channel. The other example that springs to mind is Tono Haru, the graphic novel, which I just did a video of just to kind of, for the sake of being complete. I didn't have anything intelligent to say about it. And that's like the 3rd most viewed video on the channel. Okay, excuse me. Number 3. Tell us about a video that you were most excited about when you finished it. I don't know. You know, there are a number of videos that, particularly on subjects or books that interest me, like I'll have a book and I'll be like, oh boy, this book is really interesting, I can't wait to talk about it. Or occasionally I'll do a vlog on a subject that's interesting to me, and I think, oh, okay, I've got a lot of things I want to say about this subject, I can't wait. So I'll be excited to make the video. But, you know, my filming style is just to turn on the camera and then talk. And most of the time, when I turn on the camera and then talk, I'm never quite as eloquent as I imagine I'm going to be before I turn on the camera. So I have this idea where I'm going to create this great video and talk about all these interesting things. And the more things I have to talk about, the more I ramble. So ironically, the videos that I'm most excited to make or most excited to talk about usually tend to be my worst videos. Yeah, maybe that's why the videos that I never think anyone's going to be interested in turn out to be the most viewed. I don't know. Number 4, tell us about a point in your booktubing career that was particularly challenging, either creatively or personally. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really do much, do I? I just turn on the camera and talk about a book. So I haven't really challenged myself so much, other than the challenge of trying to do this regularly, even when I'm feeling tired or don't have a lot of time in the day, because you might not know it from watching this channel, because I do put out a lot of videos, but I am so busy at this point in my life, working a couple of different jobs, working very, very busy at both of them, doing the Delta Module 3 at the moment, new baby, was moving, just living abroad, and so dealing with the bureaucracy and taxes and all this, just so busy at this point in my life. If I look a little bit tired or sleepy in some of these videos, that's why. And also, that's also why maybe some of these videos in which I get a little tongue-tied or incoherent, and maybe where I should have done a second take of them, and I didn't do a second take of them, that's why. I'm just trying to, yeah, just trying to get through it, I guess. Number 5, tell us about a point in your booktubing career that was a high point for you, or something you're particularly proud of. I guess this gets back to the thing I was saying earlier. Sometimes the stuff I'm most excited to talk about end up being random or rambling. So there was stuff that I wanted to be better than it was. I guess I've gotten a few comments now, and this has mostly been on the stuff that I've done for professional development, meaning methodology books about how to teach English. A couple people have commented, "Thanks a lot, this was really useful for me." And I guess that's been the high point, that something I made was really useful for someone else. And to be quite honest, I was surprised that it was useful for somebody else, because again, these videos tend to be quite poorly done. I just turn on the camera and ramble, but apparently those ramblings were of interest to someone else, were useful to someone else. It's happened a couple different times now. So yeah, that was nice. Number 6, tell us about an aspect of being a content creator that you had to try really hard to get good at or are still struggling with. Okay, well again, not to sound like a broken record, but again, my style is just to turn on the camera and ramble. I don't really know how to edit. I don't have any editing equipment. I keep telling myself at some point in the future I'm going to sort all this stuff out, but coming back to what I said earlier, I'm just really busy at this point in my life. So for the moment, I'm just doing what I'm doing. There are a few other booktubers who do not do a lot of editing. They just turn on the camera and talk. I mean, Steve Donahue over at Steve Reads. He appears to do little or no editing as far as I can tell. He turns on the camera and he just talks. And yet, I love watching his videos. Like, he talks intelligently, even without scripting and even without editing. And that's what I would like to be someday myself. But I do find quite often, when I turn on the camera, sometimes I cannot form a coherent sentence for the life of me. And sometimes I seem to get really tongue-tied, and I don't know why, because I don't think I was like that 10 years ago. I don't know if I'm if I'm losing my ability to talk the older I get. I don't know. But I tend to, I feel like I'm mispronouncing words more than I used to. I'm slipping up and losing my train of thought more than I used to. So, I don't know. I guess the solution to this is either just give up, or maybe just try and keep making more videos and see if the more I do, the easier it gets. I had this idea actually that I wanted to start doing more just like random vlogs, just talking about stuff, just to get more into the habit of talking unscripted and see if with some practice I could improve that. I don't know. If you see more vlog videos coming through in the future, that's why. Okay, number 7. Tell us a story that sticks out in your mind that happened as a result of you being on BookTube. Yeah, I don't have any really good stories. I guess the only story I have is a couple times somebody commented to me, "Oh, I found your channel." Yeah, it's happened, I think, 3 times now. I mean, you know, 3 times where people who are not expecting to find my channel at all stumbled across my channel. All 3 times had to do with fellow English teachers who were looking online for information about a methodology book and were very surprised to find that my channel was one of the top results when you search for this methodology book. Which, yeah, I guess I'm a little bit surprised about it myself. When I was doing the Delta Module 2, which Delta Module 2 is an English language teaching qualification, I was doing it in Chiang Mai, and not once but twice at lunch, somebody said to me, "I was searching for this methodology book and I found your YouTube channel." And I had no idea you did a YouTube channel. So, you know, twice that happened within the space of 6 weeks up doing the Delta. And then once back at my regular work. Again, somebody was searching for a methodology book. So, you know, I think that's maybe the advantages of reviewing books on a very niche thing. Is that there are very few people doing it. So if anyone's searching for these particular books, I guess my channel pops up. Actually, is that an advantage or is that a disadvantage? Am I exposing myself? I don't know. If people find it useful, I guess it's an advantage. All right, number 8. All right, you just spent however long talking about yourself. You're awesome. We know. It's why we watch your content. Tell us about someone else in the BookTube, AuthorTube community that you think deserves more attention than they get at the moment. I'm always terrible at these questions. Yeah, the primary reason being I don't spend a lot of time watching other BookTubers. And this comes up every time I get a tag, and then I have to admit it, which I'm somewhat embarrassed to admit, because let's face it, my content is pretty amateurish, right? So if somebody's spending the time to watch my amateurish content, that means I could pretty well spend more time watching somebody else's amateurish content. And you know, it's a community, I need to return the favors, etc. I don't watch a lot of other BookTubers, and some of that comes down to the fact that I don't have a lot of time. Like I said, I'm crazy busy, but actually I could probably make some time. I mean, I do waste time on YouTube watching late night comedians and stuff like that. So I could probably squeeze in some time for some other YouTubers. I don't know. The only ones I'm going to go to are the ones I always go to. Dane Reeds, who actually was the one who tagged me in this post, and who's not doing too bad for himself. He's got 2,000 subscribers, which isn't bad for BookTube. But the guy actually, I think, deserves more. Because, yeah, I mean, he edits his stuff well. He talks intelligently. And this guy is a one-man machine in terms of the BookTube community. I mean, he seems to watch everybody, be very invested in BookTube, comment on everybody else's channel. So a guy like that definitely deserves more views. You're probably already familiar with him. In fact, odds are you came to my channel because of him, because he's sent a few people over to my channel. But if you're not, check him out.